So, I want you to picture a situation. You are at a social event, right?
Right.
Maybe a party or a networking event.
Okay. Yeah, I can picture it.
And someone walks up to you and they smile and they just say, hi.
The classic conversation starter.
Right. And you know the English grammar, you know the vocabulary, but suddenly your brain just completely shuts down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is a terrible feeling, isn't it?
It really is.
I think, basically every single person who has ever learned a new language knows that exact feeling. We actually call it the freeze moment.
The freeze moment. Yeah, that's the perfect name for it. And, welcome to today's deep dive, because we are going to fix that today.
Yes, we are.
I'm so glad we were talking about this, because introducing yourself, it happens everywhere, right?
It really does. It happens all the time.
Right. Like when you meet a new classmate, or when you start a new job, or even just traveling and meeting someone at a cafe. But instead of feeling excited, a lot of learners just feel this pure panic. It's like your brain is a computer, and the computer is trying to translate everything from your native language into English all at the very same time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And because it's doing too much work, the computer just crashes.
I really love that analogy. Your brain crashes because it's running too many programs at once.
Exactly.
And what is really interesting here is, why this happens. Our sources point out that learners often freeze because they are just terrified of making a mistake.
Right. Especially in front of the native speaker.
Exactly. Or they think they need to create this long, perfect, very formal sentence right from scratch.
So they are basically just trying too hard.
Yeah, they're putting way too much pressure on themselves.
I see.
Because when you try to build a really complex sentence from nothing and, someone is looking right at you, it just takes too long.
Right, and then the silence gets really awkward.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is why our mission for this deep dive is to give our listeners a very simple, very reliable tool set.
Okay, tool set.
Yeah. We want to give you a basic formula. If you learn this simple formula, you don't have to think too hard. You don't have to build a sentence from nothing.
Right.
And most importantly, you stop translating in your head.
I love the sound of a simple formula. That sounds like exactly what people need.
It is.
So let's start with the absolute foundation. If my brain is crashing,
Yeah.
what is the easiest, the most natural way to just open my mouth and begin?
Well, the easiest way is to use just two small pieces.
Okay.
A short greeting and your name. That's all.
Just a greeting and a name.
Right. For example, if you are in a relaxed, casual situation, you can just say hi or hello or hey.
Okay.
And then you simply say I'm, and then you add your name.
Oh, so just, hi, I'm Sarah.
Yes. Hi, I'm Sarah.
That's it.
That's it. It's short, it's friendly, and, it gives your brain a chance to breathe.
That makes a lot of sense.
And if you are in a more formal situation, you just change the greeting.
Right.
So instead of hey, you could say, good morning, I'm Sarah.
Okay, that sounds extremely easy. But I want to pause here for a second, because I often hear learners do something a little different.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, sometimes I hear people say things like, myself, John.
Yes.
Or if they want to be very polite and ask a question, they will say, what is your good name?
Right.
So is that something native speakers actually say?
I am really glad you brought that up, because those are actually very common traps for English learners. Yes. Our sources are very clear on this. Native English speakers do not use the word myself like that.
Okay.
So you should definitely avoid saying myself, John.
But, why do so many learners say it then? It seems really common.
It is common, and it's because they are translating directly from their mother tongue.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. In some languages, saying myself or, asking for someone's good name, it's a sign of deep respect.
That makes sense.
Right. But in English, asking what is your good name, it just sounds a bit confusing.
How so?
Well, to a native speaker, it almost sounds like you are asking if they have a bad name too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can totally see how that would be confusing. So the literal translation simply doesn't work in English culture.
It really doesn't. And you don't need to worry about being overly formal to show respect in English.
Okay.
In natural English, simple is almost always better.
Simple is better.
Exactly. So instead of myself, John, you just say, I'm John.
I'm John.
Right. And instead of what is your good name, simply ask, what's your name?
What's your name?
Yeah.
Keep it simple. I think that is a huge relief for a lot of learners. You really do not need complicated words to be polite.
Not at all.
So, okay, we have the first part of the formula. Hi, I'm John.
Right.
But usually an introduction doesn't just stop at the name, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Because once people know your name, they naturally want to know a little bit more about you to find a connection.
Exactly. And that brings us to the next pieces of the formula.
Which are?
Where you are from and what you do.
Okay, the basic facts of your life.
Yes. But let's talk about where you are from first.
Okay.
Because our sources mention another major trap here, and this one has to do with grammar.
Oh, grammar.
Yeah. Many learners use the continuous tense here. For example, they will say, I am coming from India.
Oh, right. The continuous tense. So they use the ing form of the verb, I am coming.
Yes. Or when they talk about their job, they might say, I'm doing a job in a bank.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Let me try to explain why this feels a little strange to a native speaker.
Go for it.
So think of your home country as a permanent fact.
Right.
It is a solid truth about your life. It is not an action that you are doing right now.
That's a great point.
Because when you say, I am coming, a native speaker, well, they kind of picture you on an airplane, traveling at this exact second.
That is a fantastic way to explain it. Yeah, the ing ending implies an action happening right now.
Right.
But your nationality, where you were from, that is a permanent fact.
So we don't use the ing action word.
Exactly. Because it's a permanent fact, we just use the simple present tense.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I'm coming from India, you just say, I'm from India.
I'm from India. Oh, that feels so much shorter and lighter.
It really is. And the exact same rule applies to your work.
Okay, so how do I talk about my job?
Well, instead of saying, I'm doing a job in a bank, you can just say, I work at a bank.
I work at a bank.
Right. Or I work in marketing.
Okay, but what if the person is a student? Should they say, I am doing my studies?
Again, you want to keep it to a permanent fact.
Okay, so no ing.
Right. Just say, I'm a student.
I'm a student.
Or, I study engineering.
I study engineering. Okay, so let's put the pieces of our formula together so far.
Sounds good.
We have the greeting, the name, the country, and the job.
Yes.
What does that actually sound like when a native speaker says it?
Well, let me give you a quick example. And listeners, I want you to notice the rhythm of these sentences.
Okay.
Ready? Hi, I'm Kenji. I'm from Japan. I work as a graphic designer.
Wow. Hi, I'm Kenji. I'm from Japan. I work as a graphic designer.
That sounds incredibly natural.
It does, right. And notice how short those sentences are.
Yeah, they are really short.
You do not need to connect everything with long, difficult joining words.
Like saying, and therefore, or furthermore.
Exactly. You don't need any of that in casual conversation. You just give the simple facts one by one.
Just one by one. Okay, so we have the basic facts.
Yep.
But to make an introduction truly friendly, I feel like we need to add a little bit of personality.
Oh, definitely.
We need to talk about what we like to do.
Yes, adding a personal interest is what makes you sound human.
Yeah.
But this is an area where language textbooks often cause a lot of trouble.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, textbooks are great for learning the rules, but sometimes they make people sound a bit like robots.
They really do.
Let me read a classic example from a textbook. I see this sentence everywhere.
Let's hear it.
My hobby is playing cricket.
Oh, yes. The classic textbook sentence. Right. Now, the grammar is perfectly fine, right?
And grammar is perfect.
But why does that sound a little unnatural in a real conversation?
It sounds unnatural because of the word hobby.
The word hobby.
Yeah. In everyday spoken English, people just don't really use hobby as a fixed label for themselves.
What do you mean by a fixed label?
Well, when you say my hobby is, it sounds very rigid. It feels like you are filling out a form at a doctor's office. Or maybe giving a police report.
A police report. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It sounds like you are reading from a script.
Exactly.
So, if we shouldn't use the word hobby, how do native speakers talk about the things they like to do?
They use action words.
Action words.
Yes, they focus on the feeling of the activity. So instead of saying, my hobby is playing cricket, you just say, I enjoy playing cricket.
I enjoy playing cricket.
Right. Or you can say, I love reading.
I love reading.
Another very unnatural phrase is, in my free time, I hike.
In my free time, I hike. I really like that one. It sounds so much more relaxed, more conversational.
It completely changes the tone of the introduction. It goes from a formal report to a friendly chat.
Yeah, it really does.
Let's look at another example. Maybe for someone who is an intermediate learner and wants to say just a tiny bit more.
Okay, let's hear it.
They might say, in my free time, I really enjoy cooking at home, and I also love hiking on weekends.
Oh, that sounds like a real person making small talk.
Right.
So let's review the formula so far.
Okay.
We have the greeting, our name, our country, our job, and a little bit about what we love to do.
That's right.
But, if I just stand there and list all these facts about myself, it eventually gets a bit awkward, doesn't it?
Yes, that is a crucial point. If you just talk about yourself, it's a monologue.
A monologue?
Yep.
Like a speech?
Exactly. You are just giving a speech. But an introduction needs to turn into a two-way conversation.
Right. I always like to think of a conversation as a game of catch.
Oh, a game of catch, like throwing a ball.
Yeah. Imagine we are outside and we are throwing a baseball back and forth. If I just talk about myself, I am holding the ball.
Right.
I give my name, I hold the ball. I say my job, I hold the ball.
And I'm just standing there waiting.
Right. You are just standing there watching me. To play the game, I have to throw the ball back to you.
That visual is perfect. You absolutely have to throw the ball back.
So how do we do that in English?
Our sources explain that the easiest, most natural way to throw the ball back is to simply end your introduction with a question.
A question.
Yeah.
So after I say, I enjoy hiking, I just immediately ask a question.
Exactly. And the question can be extremely short.
Like what?
The most common one is just, what about you?
What about you? Just 3 words.
Just 3 words. What about you?
That's so easy.
It is. Or you could ask, where are you from originally?
Right.
Or what do you do?
This feels like a very safe strategy.
It really is. It is actually a secret weapon for nervous learners.
A secret weapon. Wait, why is asking a question a trick?
Because it completely takes the pressure off of you.
Oh, I see.
Think about it. When you ask, what about you? The other person has to start talking.
That's true.
That means you don't have to speak English for a minute or two. You can just listen, smile, and take a deep breath.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you threw the ball back, and now it is their turn to do the work.
Exactly.
That is brilliant. You use a simple formula to introduce yourself, you ask one question, and then you get a break.
Yes.
That makes the whole process feel much less terrifying.
It turns a scary performance into a normal, relaxed chat.
Okay, so what about you? That's a great lifeline if you were at a cafe or a party, right?
Definitely.
Buys you a minute to breathe. But, you can't exactly use that trick in every single situation.
No, you can't.
Like, what happens if you were in a high-pressure environment?
Like a professional setting.
Yeah, for example, a job interview.
Ah, yes.
You sit down, and the hiring manager looks at you and says, tell me about yourself.
That is a tough one.
Right. You can't just say, I'm Sarah, what about you?
No, you definitely cannot do that in an interview.
I didn't think so.
A job interview is a very different situation. The core idea stays the same. You still need a simple formula so you don't freeze, but the actual information you share has to change.
Right. Because when I hear the question, tell me about yourself, in an interview, I always panic a little bit.
Most people do.
I always wonder, does the interviewer want to know my whole life story? Should I start by talking about where I grew up as a child?
Our sources strongly advise against that.
No life story.
No life story. The interviewer does not want your whole life story. In fact, your answer to that question should really only be about 60 to 90 seconds long.
Wait, really? Just 1 minute?
Just a minute or a minute and a half.
That goes by very quickly.
It goes by very fast, which is exactly why you need a clear professional structure. You cannot wander off topic.
Okay, so what should a learner do?
The sources provide a really useful 4-step formula specifically for job interviews.
Okay, let's go through this framework. What are the 4 steps?
The 4 steps are present, background, skills, and goal.
Present, background, skills, and goal.
Exactly.
Okay, let's reason through this together. So, present makes sense.
Right.
That just means stating my current job or, saying that I am a student right now.
Correct. It is a quick snapshot of who you are today.
But the next one, background, that sounds a lot like a life story.
It can sound like that, yeah.
How do I give my background without talking for 5 minutes about every single job I have ever had?
That is a great distinction to make. In this context, background strictly means your most recent or your most relevant experience.
Oh, just the most recent?
Yes. It might be your last job or your university degree. Just 1 or 2 sentences about what you did right before this moment.
Okay, that is much easier to manage. Just 1 or 2 sentences.
Exactly.
The third step is skills. Now, if I am applying for an office job, does skills mean I tell them I am really good at cooking or playing the guitar?
No. You should definitely leave your personal hobbies out of this formula.
Okay, no personal hobbies.
Skills means your professional strengths.
Professional strengths.
Yes. What are you good at doing in workplace? Maybe you are good at organizing data. Or maybe you are great at communicating with angry customers.
I see. It has to connect to the work.
Always.
And the final step is goal. I imagine this means explaining why I'm sitting in the interview chair.
Right.
Like, why do I want this specific job?
You hit the nail on the head. Your goal shows that you are excited about the future with their company.
This framework makes a lot of sense. Present, background skills, and goal.
It's very effective.
Can we hear what this actually sounds like? Do you have an example of a beginner or maybe an intermediate learner using this formula?
Yes. Let's imagine a student who is applying for an entry-level job in marketing.
Okay.
Using the formula, they might say this. Right now, I'm a student studying marketing. Before that, I worked part-time at a coffee shop where I learned how to talk to customers. I'm good at organizing things and working with the team. I'm excited about this job because I want to use my marketing skills in a real company.
That is a fantastic example. It sounds so professional, but the words are really simple.
Yes, very simple English.
Let's break that down so our listeners can really hear the 4 parts.
Great idea.
First, she said, right now, I'm a student studying marketing. That is the present.
Yes, very simple. Then she moved to background. She said, before that, I worked part-time at a coffee shop where I learned how to talk to customers.
I really like how she connected the coffee shop to learning a skill.
Right. It shows value.
Then for the third step, skills. She said, I'm good at organizing things and working with a team.
And she wrapped it up beautifully with her goal.
Which was?
I'm excited about this job because I want to use my marketing skills in a real company.
It is polite, it is structured, and it tells the interviewer everything they need to know in under a minute.
Exactly. And just like the casual formula we talked about earlier, if you practice this professional formula, you won't sit there trying to translate big, complicated business words in your head.
Right. You don't have to build a sentence from nothing.
Exactly. You protect yourself from that freeze moment.
Well, we have covered so much ground today. Let's do a quick summary of the most important takeaways.
Sure.
For me, I think the biggest lesson is that an introduction does not need to be a masterpiece.
No, it doesn't.
You do not need perfect, complex grammar. It just needs to be clear, it needs to use simple present tense for facts, and it needs to be friendly.
I agree completely. And always remember the game of catch.
Right. The baseball.
Yes. Never give a monologue. Always throw the ball back by asking a simple question like, what about you?
What about you? But, having all this knowledge in our heads, that is really only half the battle, isn't it?
It is.
Because knowing the rules won't automatically stop the brain computer from crashing when a stranger says hello. We actually have to take action.
Yes. And that brings us to the most important part of this deep dive.
Okay, what is that?
How do you actually build the confidence to do this in real life?
Right. Because theory is nice,
Yeah.
but real life is scary.
Exactly. Our sources suggest a very practical exercise for this. We call it the 30-second challenge.
The 30-second challenge. Okay, how does a listener do this?
It requires 3 steps. First, I want you to grab a piece of paper and write down your own simple introduction.
Okay, write it down.
Use the casual formula. Write down your greeting, your name, your country, your job, one thing you enjoy doing in your free time, and end it with a question.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. I have it written down. What is step 2?
Step 2 is to take out your phone and open the stopwatch or timer app.
A timer.
Yes. Read your introduction at a normal, calm pace and time yourself. Your goal is to keep the entire introduction between 25 and 35 seconds.
So, just about half a minute.
Right.
That really forces you to keep it short and simple, doesn't it?
It does. If it takes a minute, you have written way too much. You need to cut it down.
Okay, that's a good rule. And what is the final step?
Step 3 is the magic step. You must practice this introduction out loud.
Wait, I want to push back on this a little bit. Speaking out loud to myself. Maybe looking in a mirror. I have to admit, if I am a nervous English learner, that sounds incredibly awkward.
Oh, it feels very awkward at first.
I mean, I feel silly just thinking about doing that. Does talking to a mirror actually translate to real-life confidence?
I know it feels silly, I really do. But there is a very real scientific reason why you must do it.
Scientific reason?
Yes. It has to do with muscle memory.
Muscle memory, you mean like when you practice a sport?
Yes, exactly like a sport.
Okay, explain that to me.
Well, when you read English silently in your head, you are only using your eyes and your brain.
Right.
But speaking is a physical action. Your jaw, your lips, and your tongue have to move in specific ways to create English sounds.
Oh, I see.
If you don't practice the physical movement, your mouth literally won't know what to do when you feel nervous.
Oh, wow. That makes so much sense. By speaking out loud, you are physically training the muscles in your face to make the English sounds automatically.
Yes, you are building a connection between your brain and your mouth. If you practice saying, "Hi, I'm Sarah, I'm from Brazil," 20 times in front of a mirror, your mouth will just say it naturally at a party, even if your brain is feeling nervous and crashing.
So the goal is to make the physical words automatic, so you don't even have to translate them from your native language first.
That is the ultimate goal. So stand in front of a mirror and say it. Say it to a friend.
Or a pet.
If you are too shy for a human, say it to your pet dog. Just make sure you are using your voice. And that brings me to a final thought I really want to leave everyone with today.
What is the final thought?
Silent reading builds your knowledge, but only speaking out loud builds your confidence.
Silent reading builds your knowledge, but only speaking out loud builds your confidence. I absolutely love that.
It's so true.
Because the next time you are at a social event and someone smiles and says hi, you do not want your brain to act like a crashing computer.
No, you don't.
You want to be able to just smile back, take a breath, and confidently say, "Hi, I'm Tree," and just let the conversation begin.
You are finally ready to play catch.
You really are. That is all for today's deep dive. Keep it simple, keep practicing out loud, and we will talk to you next time.